What did you make of that 90s heartthrob battle sensation?
Well, I always knew that Jonathan had the slight edge. He definitely had the slight edge. I hated it. I absolutely hated being called heartthrob, and I did everything in my power to try not to have that title anymore. This is my first serious thespian role. Take me serious, please. This is a little cringy. Full disclosure, they went out to Macaulay Culkin first. We did not get our security deposit back. The Chucky! Has anybody seen the Chucky? Hi, I'm Devon Sawa, and this is my ET retrospective.
So the first thing is your Nerf gun commercial in 1993.
You were there? Okay. Whew, I was like, wow, you guys are good.
Face it, you're either on one end of a Nerf weapon or the other.
Time to choose. What I love about these commercials, we didn't get paid a lot for those commercials, but they would give me this giant box of Nerf guns. And these weren't just regular Nerf guns, these were Nerf guns that the prop guy put bigger springs in, and so I would take these giant boxes of Nerf guns home to the neighborhood, and we'd have these big Nerf battles with these Nerf guns. That was like some of my first stuff.
Guess who? Who? Me. Hey, Junior. Hey.
Little Giants. It was like summer camp. It was so many kids. We were all in Arroyo Grande, some little Ramada hotel, playing football. It was a blast to shoot.
In the movies, they do that chicken pecking mouth half open thing like this. Hey, baby.
This is a little cringy. If there's one scene I could go back in my childhood and reshoot, that would have been the scene. The on the boat, chicken pecking mouth half open scene.
Kind of the beginning of your heartthrob status. You always seemed to get the girl in the 90s. How'd you always pull it off?
I didn't know about it for a long time. The teen magazines they weren't as popular in Canada where I was from. So those were going on, and I was building a following or a popularity or something with those teen magazines, and I didn't really know too much about it until I got a call from Universal, and they flew me to New York, and I had a box of Casper t-shirts, and all of a sudden I started to realize that, it was a thing.
I told you I was a good dancer.
Casper. They did this nationwide casting call for Casper, and we sent a tape down, and I got a call 2 weeks later saying Spielberg wants to meet you. And we went down and we met Spielberg, and I got the part, and the rest is kind of history. Malachi Pearson is the young boy that did the voice of Casper, and he was younger than Christina. They needed somebody Christina's age, so they hired me.
Was there ever a talk for you to voice Casper also?
No. Never. They'd already been 2.5, 3 months into it at that point, and so, but he did he did the lion's share of the work, and I came in and did that little scene. This was the first movie my kids saw. I think they were 5 and 3, and I remember when this scene happened, they just kept looking, and it didn't make a lot of sense to them. They don't watch a lot of my stuff now. After I showed them Wild America, I'm sure that's gonna come up at some point. That didn't, they weren't fans of that film. That's when I realized my kids can be brutally honest.
Hey, wormy wormers. No!
Now and then. This was a very fun movie to shoot. It was a really cool set to be on. Also like summer camp. It was a bunch of kids in Savannah, Georgia. It was a good time. Nothing but great memories. I've seen Christina Ricci over the years. She's amazing.
Can I kiss you? I guess. Great, you ready? You want to do it now?
She recommended me for the part of that, I think, is what I heard. So it was awesome. It was amazing. It was flattering. It was a good time.
We are screwed.
Let's just call Mom. She can send us some money.
Wild America.
I'm very excited. Very excited.
I wonder if I could get my earrings back in.
Obviously, a lot of animals involved in the movie. Are you an animal type of guy, or?
I'm a party animals type of guy.
There you go. I knew that.
I had jokes back then. I think it's a great movie, and maybe we'll revisit it in a few years, but it was sure a lot of fun shooting. Man, that look, the earrings, the hair, that's great.
Now, we obviously see you on screen now with Jonathan Taylor Thomas. What did you make of that 90s heartthrob battle sensation?
I always knew that Jonathan had the slight edge. He definitely had the slight edge. It didn't feel like a lot of competition because he was so much younger than me.
Marshall, stay here. Guard the equipment.
We tortured him a lot. I remember that. I think that if I ever saw him again, I'd give him a big hug and apologize. It was all fun. It was brotherly torture, but we tortured him. There was a lot of, we treated him like a little brother on that set. He got a lot of brotherly love. A lot of the stuff I did in my late, like my 18, 19, 20, 21, 22 was a middle finger to the heart. Like I chose a lot of, like the Idle Hands, the Stan video, SLC Punk, those were all to try to get away from that. I hated it. I absolutely hated being called heartthrob. I hated being on a centerfold. Now it's like, I realize, you know, it got me where I needed to be and it's flattering, and man, I hated it back then. And I did everything in my power to try not to have that title anymore.
I can't keep doing this! Losing my mind!
Idle Hands.
I mean, it's so silly and it's so off the wall. I mean, this kid's hand gets possessed, you know, and it kills people, and it's just it's so crazy that it's funny.
I really bought into the whole thing, didn't I? I remember we're always rehearsing. I was in an apartment that faced another apartment. My blinds were always open. I was always in my apartment doing all this weird, you know, stuff with my hand, and I was just in it.
I saw the seatbelt. I knew it would rip. That's how I saved him. Just like the plane, just like the explosion, I saw it.
Final Destination.
Alex?
I guess after the plane goes down, his world completely changes.
I feel like I spoke differently back then. I was very nasally back then. It's like that cool guy. It's crazy, it's got like 32% on the tomato meter. The critics didn't like it, which blows my mind because people love it. And it's got 6 sequels now, or 5 sequels, and they're all great.
We never actually saw your character die on screen.
We didn't. You never know. Well, I mean, we'll see. We'll see.
Would you love to revisit that role?
Yeah, one day, maybe. You know, one day if they call me, if they do like the Scream, I think it's popular with Scream, right? They're bringing all the people back. Yeah, I would totally.
I love you, Slim. We could have been together. Think about it.
Stan. I'll never forget, they told me on the day that I was gonna lip sync it. Like I got there, like, oh, by the way, you're gonna lip sync the song. Here's the lyrics. And I remember at the first take I did, Dre running in and being like, yeah, it was good, but can you try it with some rhythm this time? And I was like, oh my God. And that was kind of how the day went the first day. Full disclosure, they went out to Macaulay Culkin first, I believe. I think that they wanted him and he wasn't available or didn't want to do it or whatever happened.
See for yourself.
Nakita. For 4 years, we just did fighting and gun shooting. That was what we did. And it was a lot of fun. Did all my own stunts, yeah. Yeah, I think there's 1 or 2, like obviously they're not gonna let me like get exploded out of a building or dive off a bridge or something like that, but all the fight stuff we did. Maggie did hers and I did mine.
Stop it. Stop it.
Glug, glug, glug.
And now Chucky. So I've worked with some iconic actors like Stallone and Travolta, and you always get a little nervous when they're coming to set. It felt the same when they brought that damn puppet in. Like the same as like, oh, here's Travolta, oh my God, or like when Stallone comes in, it's the same. Like all of a sudden, like they bring this Chucky doll and they put him down, and it's like, oh, that's the doll.
Drive out all evil spirits. I command them to be gone.
I remember doing this scene and yelling and being so into it and yelling so much, and it was so hot. I think I remember like kind of blacking out at one point. Like it was like, you know, you see those little tracers, and that was an intense scene to do.
Did you know when you signed up for Chucky that you would be playing a different character
No.
each season?
When I got the first script, it's a good thing I didn't know, because I kind of eased into the first season. I'm dying at the end. I'm just gonna have fun with this. I'm playing this character and I'm playing that character. This character dies here, that character dies there. Let's just go have some fun. And then when I died the last time, Don approached me and said, hey, what do you think about coming back next season? I was like, oh, well, how? And he said, you know, another character. And the rest is history.
3 seasons down, and who knows how many more for the iconic killer doll. New episodes of Chucky drop Wednesdays on Syfy and USA Network. And the latest season is Devon's favorite yet. The 45-year-old has already played twins and a priest, and now he's in the White House.
To see what happens in the second half of the season it gets bonkers. It's even more bonkers than playing twins on the first season. It just takes a wild turn and ride, and we did one scene in an elevator full of blood There's so much goes on. Brad Dourif was there, which was really cool. He's a legend and an icon, and yeah, this season is by far my favorite.
Do your kids have a Chucky doll?
We have a Chucky doll. My kids don't. We have a Chucky doll, and it's up in my closet, and they are aware that everything is okay as long as the Chucky stays in the box. That's the rule. So one day I may just take the Chucky out of the box.
For Halloween.
For Halloween. The Chucky! Has anybody seen the Chucky? Yeah, all that stuff is amazing. I definitely have changed. I wonder if I could stick the hoop earrings back in.